Leaf America. I'm in the building that features the best attendance in all of North American minor league hockey. It's not Michigan, it's not Minnesota, not California with its huge population, not New York or New Jersey. I'm in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's crazy. And it just so happens there's a Leaf alum living right up the road. We'll tell you all about this when we come back on Maple Leaf America. Here we are, Maple Leaf America, in the state capital of Oklahoma, which just happens to be Oklahoma City. You might notice that the state capitol building is going through some renovations, getting a new dome. And just in front of that, you have the oil derrick, which represents this region's livelihood for so many years. Just so happens that this week's Leafs alum works in a related business just up the road in Tulsa. Let's head up there and meet Larry McIntyre.
Every time Larry McIntyre thinks his lifetime involvement in the sport of hockey has finally come to an end, it keeps pulling him back in. Not that he minds. Hockey just keeps popping back up when he least expects it. In Tulsa, Oklahoma. Recently, he was volunteered to help coach the Tulsa Crude in the U.S. Junior League.
The insight that he can give the defense has been fantastic, and it's immeasurable. You just can't bring another guy in here that has as much experience that he has.
See, Larry played professional hockey for more than 400 games, and he spent parts of 2 seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They don't see a whole lot of that in Tulsa.
The experience he brings to the table is unbelievable. I mean, he knows about everything there is to know about this game, just about, especially the defensive aspect. Just a little tricks of the trade here and there that you wouldn't get from a normal guy Larry brings out. And he brings them in such a manner that it's just a great experience learning from him.
Flashback to the 1998-99 season. Larry volunteered to help fellow former NHLer Rick Sealing coach the Tulsa Oilers in the Central League. And then,
partway into the season, he wasn't doing well, the team wasn't doing well, and they decided to make a change and asked me if I would take over as the head coach. It was quite a deal because I've never had experience coaching at that level. I've coached some minor league teams here, but midgets and that type of stuff. But so it was fun, but it was a lot of work.
The Oilers finished the season with a record of 20-41-9.
And I really just expected to finish out that season. I never looked for an extended contract of any kind. As a matter of fact, I never even had a contract. I was still basically working for nothing. So, but it was fun.
Flashback again to 1969-70. Larry McIntyre is one of the Maple Leafs' top prospects. Back in the day, that meant playing for Tulsa and later Oklahoma City in the old Central League. It was a who's who of training grounds. Wait, Rick Kehoe, coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins? Ron Lowe, coach of the New York Rangers? Tulsa, cradle of coaches?
Rick Kehoe was very quiet when when I played with him. He wasn't very outspoken. I didn't think that he would would ever go after a coaching career in the NHL, especially. And Ron Lowe, when he first came here, I think he was right off the farm, just a good old boy, but a really nice guy. Worked hard at practice, worked hard in the games. I think he really worked himself into his career.
Flashback time again to the 1940s. As a teenager, McIntyre dominates a senior men's league in a remote mining outpost in the Northwest Territory. He's scouted, signed, and at age 20, he's playing for Toronto.
I got picked up by Toronto. Of course, coming from a small mining town up in northern Canada, we had no TV at all up there at that time. Listened to some games on the radio, but got to Moose Jaw, got to see some games on TV, but had never been to an NHL game in my life.
Larry's NHL career didn't last as long as he nor the Leafs would have liked. Injuries and related surgeries played a big part. But Larry McIntyre is proud of the fact that not only was he once a Leaf, but only a Leaf.
It's pretty awe-inspiring when you walk into, especially as a 20-year-old walking into Maple Leaf Gardens with the history that's just in that building alone, let alone running into players that have since retired, like Johnny Bauer was still around there at that time and did a lot of stuff for the club. And you just walk around the building and look at pictures and think, God, I can't believe that I'm in this building with all these great people that have been here before me. And it was a experience that I would not ever forget the rest of my life.
And the rest of his kids' lives as well. Proud family members root for Toronto. Big enough fans to have recently made the ultimate pilgrimage to see Toronto's most famous old barn.
He says, we can't let you in. It's all locked down. I said, I came from Bixby, Oklahoma. You know where that is. He said, no, somewhere in the U.S. I said, well, it's a long trip to see this building, mainly. He's like, well, I can't. So I'll get Dad, bring him over there, and say, he used to play here. He wants to show me this rink. And finally, he gets on the radio, lets us in, and I'm thinking a junior team practicing. I walk in, and first person I see is Wendell Clark. I'm standing on the bench. It was really neat experience, very special experience.
To support his family since his playing days, McIntyre has worked with and has long been president of a local steel press company. Undoubtedly, he's as quiet and humble away from the rink as he is in one.
I've not ever used hockey in my business. A lot of people that I do business with around this area, unless they read something about it in the paper, don't ever know that I played hockey, especially in the NHL. I like to go in and try and sell on my personality and my work ethics, which I feel like the Toronto Maple Leaf organization gave me my work ethics. I work hard all the time, and that's what I was taught there. But it's great to stop and think for a minute about people like my son who really kind of carrying on the Maple Leaf emblem.
No more flashbacks. Instead, flash ahead, anytime, to a rink in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Chances are Larry McIntyre will be there, whether he planned it or not.
From Tulsa back down to Oklahoma City via the Interstate 44, and I'm standing in what will soon be the new 18,500 seat home of the Oklahoma City Blazers. That is a pretty big barn for a Central Hockey League team, but the Blazers know they can handle it.
It's hockey town of the minor leagues, in the middle of, no offense, nowhere.
Being born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, going to the city wasn't a big thing. But I used to, I think I went to one Ranger hockey game. My love of the game didn't start until I came to Oklahoma, which is probably strange. But I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. I was more of a baseball fan than a hockey fan.
What I like about it is the fast sport. I like the sport itself. I like that it's affordable to come to. And it's just fun to watch. They're energetic.
Sure, there's tradition dating back to the old CHL. Sure, there's the winning ways under head coach and local celebrity Doug Sauter. And sure, it's the most unique game in town. But a lot of minor league hockey towns have those similar characteristics. So what is it? It's marketing.
Go Blazers!
We've done a good job of taking care of the fans once they're inside the gate. And we look at it as if the doors open an hour prior to the game, it's showtime. Regardless if it's a Tuesday night or a Saturday night, every night is special. You don't know if that's going to be that fan's first game ever, and you might get them hooked. Hockey's the best spectator sport in the world, So you've got to take every night serious.
The biggest compliment that I can think of is one of our former players came to work in the front office 3 years ago. He thought that we just did that. We opened the doors, people came in, and his first comment after he was there about 6 weeks, he said, "I can't believe how hard you guys work to get people in the stands." And it's just something that from year to year, it's imperative and important for us to keep our numbers where they've always been. We want to average 8, 9, 10,000 fans every game. And for us to do that, it takes a lot of hard work, just like it's no different than the guys on the ice. A lot of phone calls, and a lot of times that's not fun, but we have a lot of pride in our office, and that's one of the things that has been enabled us to keep the staff, for the most part, that we've had 9 or 10 seasons.
Obviously, current players know a good thing. It's tough to find a place to play in the minors where the fans pack them in. Almost impossible to find a place where they pack them in to the tune of 9 or so thousand a night.
Blazers rock, man, yeah!
We average, like Brad was telling you, almost 9,000 fans a game. As you can see right now, we have fans sitting in the stands almost an hour before game time. And, you know, it's great. We get great support. We get treated unbelievable here. And it's definitely a no-brainer.
I had the luck of having Doug Sauter pursue me this summer. So, you know, it made my decision easy after hearing all the background and everything here. I had a friend of mine who played here before, and with everything that comes with this team, the laurels and obviously all the fan support and everything else that comes behind them, it made my decision that much easier to come here. So I was lucky enough to have Doug pursue me this summer, and now I'm lucky enough to be here at this point in time.
With veteran rules in the Central League, there's only room for a few true veterans. Get this job and try to keep it.
Especially here, because it's somewhat common knowledge as far as playing here, that what it's like, and we get treated so well. And like you had mentioned, I've been here a little bit. This is my 6th year in this league and 3rd year here, so I got to hear about Oklahoma City and play against Oklahoma City all the time in front of the crowds and the enthusiasm. So getting here, I can see what it's like, and I don't really want to leave, to be honest with you. So it kind of makes you work a little harder, maybe.
Recruiting builds reputation, and vice versa. The man in charge of upholding both, head coach Doug Sauter.
Over the years, this organization has done a great job promoting. We're very involved in the community, as you know. We've got a great owner now that has helped us immensely the last couple of years, and we're going to move to that new building, and I can't wait to move across the street into that 18,500 seat arena and try to fill it every night.
Not many coaches in North America, if any, have their own mascot.
I don't know if there's any. I'd like to see him use a little Grecian formula. I think he's a little too gray, but the only time I get into trouble is when he starts kissing the girls, and my wife doesn't like it.
The defending CHL champs have another element that hockey teams crave, a dreaded rival. The Tulsa Oilers dwell just 90 minutes up the road.
This is my 3rd year in Tulsa, and there really isn't a big rivalry in the league as far as us. Oklahoma City's only and Tulsa are only just over an hour apart, and you get fans driving back and forth, and you play each other 10, 12 times a year. It builds up pretty big over the years, but you don't get much better than the area out here, so it's a good place to come and play.
Tulsa and Oklahoma City of the old CHL were both Maple Leafs affiliates. These Toronto fans rocked the state capitol back in the mid-'70s.
Well, they were here for probably 4 or 5 years, I think. And guys that were down here when I played down here, Tiger Williams, Jack Valakat, Claire Alexander played down here, Pat Boutet, he was here. All them guys that went on and played in the NHL, they were all here. Fun time, good time.
The Blazers will continue to market. They'll probably continue to win and profit. They will definitely continue to blaze a new trail into minor league hockey history.
Quite a hockey program they have here in Oklahoma City. If you've tuned in to any of our previous episodes, you know that we started the year without the budget and timing to get the name on the back of my Leafs jersey. So I've decided that having failed on numerous occasions, I'm just going to sew The numbers on here myself. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh, yes. It's coming along rather nicely. We're going to have more hockey here from America's Heartland in just a moment. I'm just going to get some numbers on here now. I bought them at the store. I think they're pretty close to the ones I need here. What we got? Get over here somewhere.
Hi, my name is Richard Lee. We're from Toronto, Canada. This is my daughter Shannon and her friend Christy. We're down here in exchange posting at Tinker Air Force Base for the United States Air Force. My favorite all-time Maple Leaf was Wendell Clark. My daughter's is Curtis Joseph and her friend is Matt Sundin. I'd like to say hi to everybody back in Canada. My mom and dad and my brothers and sisters all live in Toronto. And go Leafs, go.
Hi, Chelsea.
Welcome back to Maple Leaf America. For the second time in the last 4 weeks, our travel log segment brings us to the site of an act of terrorism. Now, obviously, we're not trying to be morbid or bring you down, but when we visit powerful places like the Oklahoma City bombing memorial, hockey is put in perspective, and we realize that the world has changed for Americans and Canadians alike. On April 19th, 1995, 168 people were killed when the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building was destroyed by a bomb. A minute forever trapped in time. At 9:01 a.m. on April 19th, 1995, life in Oklahoma City seemed normal. At 9:03 a.m., the dust settled, and life would never be the same. Those who enter through these gates of time need be prepared.
It's kind of overwhelming, actually. I had never really seen the entire thing, and when we pulled in, the first thing I noticed was the gates of time, and that was just, it really makes you see how massive this event was instead of just the pictures on TV. It's scary. It's really scary.
The now second largest terrorist attack in U.S. history claimed the lives of dozens of moms, dads, brothers, sisters, aunts and uncles, and 19 children. An empty chair represents each and every life lost, lined up across 9 rows representing the 9 floors of the building. A few of the original outer walls of the Murrah building were used as the perimeter for a portion of the memorial. Much of the rest of the outline is covered with remembrances.
Like with the tragedies that happened in New York, I'm from New York City originally, and for those that have been to Ground Zero there, TV doesn't do it justice. So, it was a place that I've thought about and, realized the losses, but to come here and to see it's not a place that I would have destined to go, but because of the needs for me to be here, brought me here, and now I would recommend anybody coming here to understand it. It's amazing.
The reflecting pool used to be Northwest 5th Street. It's surrounded by the Rescuer's Orchard and the Survivor Tree and other areas where the healing continues. As for the memorial's mission statement, we come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. May all who leave here know the impact of violence. May this memorial offer comfort, strength, peace, hope, and serenity.
Stay with us. We'll have more Maple Leaf America from Oklahoma City in about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Maple Leaf America. Last offseason, the Oklahoma City Blazers and 5 other Central Hockey League teams merged with 10 teams from the Western Professional Hockey League, including the Fort Worth Brahmas. So far, the merger relationship has worked out just beautifully.
With the American Hockey League absorbing a portion of the defunct International League this past season, the CHL-WPHL merger seemed to fall in the shadows. We go straight to the horses' mouths for the details.
We had really had discussions going back 4 years. Although they never got to a point of obviously getting anything done, the relationship was built, the relationship was started back then. But really from the time that we sat down and conceptually looked at what is it going to take and how can we bring the two together would be really this time last year. And then bringing it to conclusion on May 30th. So you're looking at 4 months or so. And really the last, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks of real, I'm not going to say negotiation, but really sitting down and getting things worked out. A lot of the work after the fact was from an operational side. How are we going to now blend maybe two rule books? How are we going to bring two sets of policies? But like I said, it's as much hard work it was made easier because everybody had a commitment to get it done.
I think it's been great. I mean, first of all, from a coach's standpoint, I think it exposes our product to more cities. From a recruiting angle, it allows players to be a little more familiar with Oklahoma cities, the Tulsas, the Memphises, some bigger markets, and I mean that attracts players. And then again, I think with the merger, we've really attracted some great coaches as well. There's some guys that have coached at some great levels prior to coming to pro, and some guys that really able to really build up some good professional records as well. And I think it's been real competitive. I think the league's much better than what's been in the past. We've been hearing it for a number of years that it was a natural, and obviously it was. I think the biggest thing from our geographical standpoint, we're so closely located. There's some natural rivalries that we felt would take place immediately when we look at a San Antonio with an Austin and a Corpus Christi. We look at how a Fort Worth that's here tonight and an Amarillo shape up with a Tulsa and Oklahoma City. So there's just a lot of what we felt real beneficial features strictly from a geographical standpoint. And it's really from a number of standpoints. We've been able to now grow the footprint of the league, which I think was very important. We've taken two leagues that I think have had a lot of success in their own right and created a new entity that we think can be the premier league at this level. So we're excited. We've been excited since May. We thought going through the process that it would be something that would be very tremendously successful and very well received by our fans. And thus far it has been, so we're very excited.
I wouldn't have played, there was just some bad teams in the league at that time, and then when they joined the leagues together, they weeded out the teams, which made the league even stronger. Every team is very competitive now, whereas you had the weak teams in the league, and now it's a very competitive league, and it's for an older guy, it's exciting to come and play.
I spoke very strongly to our owners and our ownership about is the merger, when it took place in the joint operating agreement, was not going to be the be-all. This is not the magic formula that's going to make some of the hardships and some of the difficulties and obstacles that were faced in our business go away. The challenges that we have are still there, and the challenges as leagues in this industry are still going to be there. We still have to go out and entertain, we still have to go out and sell, we still have to do the things that we have to do from a sales and marketing perspective, from an entertainment perspective, and from a product perspective to make the league as a whole successful and each individual franchise successful.
Well, that's going to do it from the heartland of the USA. We're going to mosey up the road to St. Louis, Missouri for next week's show. We'll see you then on Maple Leaf America.